Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new and you love all things Dollar Tree, especially DIYs plus budget decor, I would love it if you'll become part of the family by clicking the red subscribe button and then tap the bell and all to be notified when I upload. So I don't usually post in the middle of the week, but I wanted to do a Q&A, so shoot your questions down below in the comments and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will upload a Q&A in the middle of the week. So let's get into the DIY. Okay guys, so to start out, I got these little buckets from Dollar Tree. It's called a favor set. I got it in like the wedding section, and 2 circles and 2 stars. I spray painted them with my favorite hammered spray paint. I then take my elephant and my white Waverly chalk paint and my natural sponge, and I just galvanize them. I start with the elephant, and if you want more detail, I can link a video in the card above. Just look up to your right, and that will go more into detail on how I do this. But basically you just dab the gray around after your spray paint is dry, and then you take your white and you go in and you do the same thing, just not as heavy as the elephant. And I have done this in so many projects. If you guys are tired of the galvanizing, just let me know. But I definitely wanted to do this for my Christmas tree this year because this is going to go along with my theme. And everybody seems to love faux galvanized metal, so I thought that I would incorporate it in my ornaments to show you guys. Next, I just place some dots with a pencil on my circles, and I do it as if it was a clock and you skip every other number, if that makes sense. But you can see what I just did. And then for the star, it's really hard to explain, but I wanted it to outline the star. That way, when we use our ribbon, because we're going to be putting ribbon and jute in here, it basically outlines the star. If that doesn't make any sense, you can see what I'm doing here. So next, I'm going to take out my drill bit, and I'll leave the size of my drill bit down below. And I just go in the holes where I made the marks. And this is exactly why I wanted to make the marks. That way I can tell before I start drilling that everything was even. So I'm showing you here with the circle that I've already done the stars, and now we're going to move on to the circles. Now, sometimes when you do this, they're going to splinter like this. So I just flip it over, I pick out what I can, and then I just take a sanding sponge and I just sand the rest of it off. I then just take my drill from the back to the front, and I get out the rest of it that's like in between the holes. I then take my sanding block again, and I just sand off the stuff that didn't come off from picking or putting the drill through it again, if that makes any sense once again. So I just continue to do that to all 4 of my shapes, and then that way when we go to put our ribbon and twine in, our holes are nice and smooth and we don't have an issue getting anything through there. So I just took some twine and I put some tape on the end, and I'm just going to weave them through the holes. Then once I get them all weaved through, I just make a knot on the back. once I have it all weaved through and knotted, I had these Dollar Tree wooden stickers, and I just wanted to fill in the gap in that circle. It was kind of plain, so I just took a snowflake and I popped it right on there. I was going to take it back off and glue it, but it had adhered pretty good, so I just left it. And I left it the wood grain color because I want these to look rustic, and I thought I thought that it looked really cool plain and as is. So I then take a piece of twine, I loop it through the back where I knotted it, and I added a bead. So I just glue the twine to the back, that way the bead will sit right at the top of the ornament, and then I just knot the top of the ornament. So next we're going to do the next circle. I did the same thing with some buffalo check ribbon. I put some tape on the end, and I saved you guys the hassle of watching it over and over, me weaving these ornaments. So this one I messed up. I didn't get the knot to the back, which was no big deal because I'm going to put a bow on it anyway, but I just knotted it. I cut it off. I added the twine to it, and then I make just a simple bow, nothing fancy, and then I go ahead and glue my bow to right where the knot was in the front. And again, I knotted my twine. So here I'm just gluing, and I just glue this right on there with hot glue, and I repeated all those steps for my other shapes. So I have one star and one circle with the buffalo check, and one star and one circle with my twine. And for the other circle, I added a wooden Christmas tree. So I should have did this before I added my twine and buffalo check ribbon, but I didn't. So here I am. You guys know that I love to do this. If you're new, I love to distress the end or dry brush the edges with just some black Waverly chalk paint. When I galvanize stuff, I think that it just comes out better and it makes it look more realistic. So here, like I said, I'm just gluing that Christmas tree on, and that is it for these. Now I'm going to take my little buckets, and I'm going to dry brush the edges with my ink as well, and I really like the effects that it gives these little buckets. They just look so cool, and really they really did not need anything other than a bow. So I was going to do wording on here, and I went back and forth, and I decided against it, and I just put a twine bow on one and a buffalo check bow on the other one. But you can go on the internet and trace on these like snowballs or anything you like, really. Next, I just take a piece of twine as well for the hanger, and I just put it on the handle of these and just knot it like I do the other ones, and that's going to let it hang off the tree. Now, Dollar Tree has these. I've never came across these, but I had my husband cut some wood for me. He cuts down trees and he does all kinds of stuff, so he had some scrap lumber laying around, and I asked him to cut these up for me because I thought that they would make really, really cool ornaments. So for two, I'm going to paint just a simple black circle. I didn't measure it out. I just eyeballed it. Now, these were fresh wood, and I let them sit for a few days, but I don't know if you guys know this, and I didn't either until my husband just told me, but sometimes it takes a tree to dry out a really, really long time. So although these are cut and they've been sitting, they still weren't 100% dry. So I did have to pop them in the oven to let them dry out more. The paint really didn't want to dry because of the moisture inside, but I did end up getting it to dry. So next I just have these snowflakes, decorate your own, from Dollar Tree. And these are like the most simple ones, you guys. All I did was paint them white. So next I found this free printable. I'm going to be honest, you guys, I don't end up using these because I wanted them black and white. I don't know why my printer painted them color. I did select print black ink, but obviously it didn't listen to me. But I just take my wood and I trace it around and cut it out. I then just took some Mod Podge on the back. When doing color photos, you don't want to Mod Podge the whole thing because the ink will bleed and go all over your picture. But I did Mod Podge the back and then the edges. So after my snowflakes were dried, I just cut 2 pieces of twine. And this is thin twine, by the way. I do have thicker twine, but this is the thin twine. And I just make hangers for those. So simple, so easy, but they do look really cool on a Christmas tree. Next, we're just going to take our wood with the black circles, and I have my white paint pen, and it did work on this one, and I just drew like a simple snowflake. I'm not an artist, you guys. I just went off the top of my head, and I actually do like the way this turned out. Now, for my next wood piece, the wood was still wet, and it was kind of rough. I should have sanded these down, but they were pretty smooth, so I didn't think that I needed to sand them down. But apparently I did, because when I went to go and use my white paint pen, it just kept catching on a few pieces and it was not working out. So all I did was take my white Waverly chalk paint and a very, very thin paintbrush, and I just go ahead and make another simple snowflake. Again, I'm not an artist. To me, it's no big deal. I do like the way they turned out, so I just did what I could. So for the one you see that I already did, I did do 2 smaller snowflakes on it, and I did not like the way that it looked. It just looked too bunched together, and you couldn't really tell. So I did end up and go back and paint them over with my black Waverly chalk paint, just so that way I got rid of them. Now, I could try to explain exactly how I did these snowflakes all day, but it probably wouldn't make much sense to you, so you can see what I'm doing, and if you have to watch it back just a few times, you can, just so that way you can see exactly how I did it. Again, it was really simple and really easy. So here I'm just showing you the ones that I didn't really like. Again, I wish they were black and white. So I just set them aside for maybe like a mini tree for my daughter or something. I do like the animals. I love the animals on them. I just wish that they were black and white. So for the next set of ornaments, I just take another star and a tree, and I just take some buffalo check scrapbook paper. I outline the shapes, and then I just go ahead and cut them out. So after I have them cut, I just take a disappearing purple school glue stick. Jeez Louise, you guys, it's midnight. I'm sorry. I know I'm tripping over my words, but I'm just tired. So anyway, I take a school glue stick and I just glue those to the shapes. Now, I do this because sometimes with Mod Podge, it gets all bubbly, and I wanted a really, really smooth and nice application. So that's why I am using this. So if you guys ever see me using a school glue, then you'll know why. So next, I just take the tip of a pencil with the lead pushed in, and I just get that circle out at the top of the Christmas tree. That way I can push my twine through. And for the star, I did not drill a hole. I should have, and I didn't, but that's okay. I just glue some twine to the back. And honestly, I wish I would have did that to all of them, but now they're all done, so it is what it is. So I just had a pick from Walmart, I believe, from last year, and I just snipped some of the greenery off, and I just glue it to the top as well as a few berries, and those are done as well. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I see all you guys, my new subscribers, my old subscribers. Thank you so much for commenting. I love chatting with you guys down below. Don't forget to leave some questions for me. Anything you would like to ask, nothing is off limits. And that way I can record a video for you guys for the middle of the week. That way we can try to get to know each other. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.